I started playing guitar when I was around 8 or 9 years old. My father taught me my first chords on actually my brother's guitar. It kind of went from there, and through my teenage years I just practiced and practiced. And I started singing when I was, like, since ever. I don't remember an age. Apparently I used to sing in my crib. See, my mother's side of the family is very musical. My great-grandmother, she wanted to be a singer, but it wasn't, you know, she was invited to New York, actually. She used to live in England. It wasn't like the done thing at that time, so I kind of feel like maybe I'm destined to do this.
Leaving the world, step into the unknown to be free. Yeah, you know the memories fade of a world that we made in history. Don't you want me, darling?
I started out on YouTube just after Christmas, just after the New Year into 2007, and uploaded my first video in January of 2007. Through the encouragement of one of my really good friends, and we just decided on a name and just uploaded the video, and that's how it kind of all began. I didn't really know what to expect in terms of reactions. It was something that I did kind of for fun, but I didn't rule out the idea that it could go somewhere. But I still had a whole year of university to finish, and I finished my course in economics, so I don't give up that easily, and I like to finish what I start. I realized it was turning into something a little more serious probably at the end of the summer in 2007, when I actually stopped and looked over my, you know, the figures and the views, and it was just something that was very organic. It was very gradual. There was no sudden jump. It was something which felt very natural to me, and of course, since I had one more year of university to go, it kind of restrained me in the sense that I had the time to take my time, and I think that was really important.
So, come on, little sister, don't shed no tears. Baby, now, no man, no cry. Oh yeah, come on, little sister, don't shed no tears. No man, no cry, no cry. Said I remember when we used to sit, yeah, in the government yard in Trenchtown, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Georgie would make the fire light, yeah, yeah. Long we burn it through the night. Sing it!
I never had any formal training on guitar. I started taking voice lessons recently, in the last couple of years, because it's very important to protect your instrument. You know, just the way that I take care of my guitar, I have to take care of my voice, and if I plan to have a long-term career in music, I have to pay attention to even the smallest detail. Besides guitar, I play piano a little bit. I learned it for about 4 years in my early teens, and then I gave up because it just wasn't really my thing, and I was kind of playing a lot more guitar at the time. So, but you know, I'd like to play the drums. It's like the next instrument I would love to play. And when we're in rehearsals with the band back home in Portugal, I always ask to play on the drums. It's like it's no doubt.
And I fall and fall and fall, my friend. I offer you my hand, but you can't run, you're caught in your landslide. Living in your darkness, that's better.
There are certain routines, like warming up. It's very important to warm up before you go on stage for a big show. I tend to sing all day long, like random snippets of songs, so I constantly feel like my voice is warm. But the best tricks, I'd say, to keep your voice safe would be drinking a lot of water and sleeping. Pre-show rituals. Oh, wow. You know, I wish I did, because I always find it so cool when artists have pre-show rituals. I don't have a pre-show ritual. I just like to, I'm not a particularly stressy person. Like on gig days, I just want to make sure that I'm well rehearsed. And then, you know, in like, let's say the 10 hours leading up towards the gig, I kind of just like to blank. Like, just like to let my mind just float away or hang out with friends and do other things. And sometimes I can, you know, have moments where I'll be like, do I still know the songs? Am I going to forget the lyrics because I haven't been thinking about them for 10 hours straight? You know, it's just, it's the natural, it's pressure. I mean, even when you get up on stage, it's just, the flow is right there, and that's why we rehearse so much. I don't even have any lucky charms or anything that I take on stage. I just take, you know, my faith. I have a good team behind me, a wonderful team, and they're always like, you know, this is going to go like this, and that. And as long as things are well structured, I tend to find that the stress is cut by, like, you know, more than half. It's really useful when you have a structure to follow. So I don't find myself getting completely worked up before I go on stage, but I like to be a little bit.
When I met you, boy, my heart went knock, knock. Now the butterflies in my stomach, stop, stop. Even though it's a struggle, love is all we got. So we gon' keep climbing to the mountaintop. Your world is my world, my fight is your fight, my breath is your breath, and your hurt. Boy, you're my one life, my one heart, my one love, for sure. I'ma tell you one time.
When I'm not on tour, I tend to spend most of my time in London, and that is unfortunately where a lot of my friends do not live. I mean, most of my best friends are spread around Europe and the world, so I don't get to see them that often, but I try and keep in touch as much as I can. My family's obviously still, my parents live in Portugal, and every time I tour down there, I see them, and it's a short flight away, thank God. But I just try and keep in touch as much as I can, and again, thanks to the internet, that's something that's possible within, you know. We recorded the EP in London. It took about 2 months. It was really crazy, and the process was just very focused. You have to be disciplined when you are, you know, making music, recording music. You have to take care of your voice. You have to make sure that, you know, the vibe is coming out as you would like the fans to hear. And but at the same time, make sure that you're maintaining your own happiness and, you know, recording and making music that you want to make. The whole point of making recorded music is so that the fans have the music to listen to, you know, on the go. And, you know, I think that's the biggest priority. That's why we make recorded music. The online world is going to remain the online world that it always was. And basically, we're just going to have the two sides, you know, of the same artist that cater to all the different demands and the types of fans, you know, and the music that they're looking for. So I don't think that the recorded music is going to have too much of an impact on the online world. What it will do is have an impact on the physical world, and we'll be able to sell them, and, you know, we'll be able to give them away at gigs, and I think that's really just a complementary device. Most of the time, the letters from the fans are basically expressing how much they connect with a lot of my songs, and that is the general gist of what I receive in terms of fan mail. It's just, you know, how this song has really helped, how, you know, Chained, for example, has been very important to, you know, a fan because they're going through, you know, the same experience that I wrote about when I went through it. But Child, for example, which is the last track off the new EP, off Radiant, I wrote that about a friend's mother who passed away. And, you know, and I have one interpretation of the song. It's like I know which perspective it was written from, but when I ask other people, sometimes they give me perspectives I would have never imagined, but they completely apply, and it blows me away. It's awesome.
So come with me before I leave. Say what you want, but it's time to lose control and let go. Say what you want, but these gates are closed. I cannot know how you feel. Say what.
Well, the amount of people who have offered to help me out is really what has struck me the most, because, you know, nobody has an obligation to help me out. You know, I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm trying to make it in music. It's important to me to share my music, but nobody has an obligation. And so when people come forward and be like, you know what, I'd really love to be a part of your project, you know, I really find that is extremely flattering, really flattering. I mean, there's so many beautiful aspects of my job. You know, I love involving my friends, you know, getting them to come with me to, you know, all TV shows and see how it works. I like letting people in on my, you know, into my world. I think I'm not going to shut people out. I think the most rewarding part of making music is sharing it with the fans. At least that's what it's become for me, because it's always going to be a way of escaping, you know, thoughts and feelings and putting them down and filtering them. But once I began sharing them, it took on a different dimension. With the world, I mean. And it was something that actually really changed my life, because I got to witness how other people interpret my own, you know, from the fans to like my best friends, my closest friends, like they interpret my songs in such different ways, and they get to ask me what they're about, and it's just so interesting to see how people just, their own experiences shape, you know, my music and their perception that they have of my music. I have fans everywhere, and I'm so lucky to have fans everywhere, because I know that the internet is a global phenomenon, but it's not always easy for everyone to have access to it. So I'm really happy when I do find out I have, you know, fans in Japan, or fans in Malaysia, or Sri Lanka, and, you know, Asia and Africa particularly. But with Facebook and analytics nowadays, the technology's come so far that you can actually almost pinpoint where people live. So I pretty much know where my fan base is concentrated. It's very useful.
You know that I could use somebody. You know that I could use somebody. Someone like you, and all you know, and how you speak. Countless lovers under covers of the streets.
On the whole, being a part of the music world of the one that I've created and I've constructed has been completely positive. There are very few things about my world in music that I can feel, you know, discontent towards. It can get hard, you know, being away from your family and friends. That really is difficult, and I know it's said a lot, but, you know, anybody who puts themselves in that skin will realize that it's difficult. And it can get, you know, there are pressures, and you get tired, and, you know, but at the end of the day, it's a wonderful life, and I would not trade it for anything.
Stop